Hi, thank you so much. Can you all hear me? Thank you. Adibero Oluwabukola. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, we're back. Give us Ninja song. Oh, okay. I would have loved to actually, but copyright. So maybe I'll look for Ninja song next time. So, before my internet, my audio went away. I was talking about a Chevening scholarship. Like a lot of people have been asking me, they want to apply for. They're looking for positions, for instance, master's positions, renewable energy, as well as in different fields in microbiology and biochemistry, in food and in whichever course you are interested in. You can try the Chevening scholarship, and like I was talking about the last time you need a provisional offer from maybe you can apply to at least three universities in the UK, and they also require that you have 2 years of work experience, which could be full time or part time, or could also be paid or unpaid work experience. So the application begins on the 3rd of August 2021 and till the 2nd of November 2021. So if you're interested in studying in the UK, which I know it's quite expensive for self-funding, you might consider applying for the Chevening scholarship. I have a few people in my cycle that won the Chevening scholarship, and recently someone which was part of Vincing 1.0 camp, also got the Chevening scholarship. Emphases are based on leadership skills as well as what you want to give back to your home country, because one of the requirements is that you at least go back to your home country. So if you're interested in the Chevening scholarship, I'll also paste the link. You can start looking for your choice of course on the website. You can find the section on eligibility, work experience, guidance, find the course application timeline, And why study in the UK? There are a lot of information like why should you study in the UK, and the biggest approach is UK is home to many of the world's best universities, yeah, Oxford and the likes, and that's why else you might want to study in the UK. The English language school will we were colonized by the British, so you don't have a problem with the language, and also it's fully funded, and it's a community, a country that talks about diversity, the friendly people, and there are tourist sites, and you can also tour the rest of Europe. Um, like it's quite a very close. So if you're interested in the Chevening scholarship, graduate scholarship in Canada, yes, I'll talk about that later. Okay, please, if you can hear me clearly, let me receive a thumb up or a yes. Thank you so much. So, if you're interested in the Chevening scholarship, get your application ready. Start talking to your professors for reference later, and also look for videos on YouTube. And there are so many blog posts. Thank you so much. There are so many blog posts that talks about how to apply for the Chevening scholarship in the UK. So, like I said, the applications opens on the third of August. I'm so sure a lot of people are already waiting for that. And so you may want to start looking for schools now. Yeah, the application period is to be, from August to November. Yeah, that's almost like 2 months. So you can, find the right course and choose appropriate reference. And like I usually tell people, it's important that your essay is as strong. Your letter of recommendation is as strong as your statement of purpose or personal statement. So on the website, they also talked about common errors that might occur in your application. Like you have to fill everything, like in terms of the pre-screen, then the application form must be correctly filled, the personal details, and you must indicate it properly. And if you don't have 2,800 hours of work experience, there is no need for you to apply. You need 2,800 hours of work experience, and also you also have to apply for courses in UK university. So it's important that you go through their website to check for this guidelines on how to find courses if you're interested in the Chevening scholarship. So like I usually do, I'm going to paste the link for the Chevening scholarship here if you're interested in the Chevening scholarship. So you can just check the website, and then you can decide if you want to apply or not. So the question is postdoc in microplastic. I'm still going to talk about postdoc opportunity. I have several postdoc positions which I'll talk about later during the course of this video. I have HND plus PhD plus masters was 4.2 CGPA in physics. What are my chances for PhD scholarships abroad? Your chances are high, and you just need to start looking for schools into whatever you want to do. Maybe medical physics. I talked about biophysics recently at a university in Europe. So you might consider reaching out to professors in your field of interest. Is it biophysics? Is it medical physics? Whatever you want to do with this CGPA, I think you are good to go. Draft a very nice, well-written CV, and send a cold email to professors in your field. Regarding the reference data, should that be from lecturer in school where I graduated from only? Yes, it's important that your references comes from people that can attest to your academic qualities and research skills, leadership skills, as well as maybe volunteering roles. So most universities will always recommend that you get your letter of recommendation from your lecturers or supervisor or professors. Yep. How long should one wait before sending a follow-up? Yeah, I think I answered that before. Um, 2 weeks or three could be okay. And if you do not get any response again, I would suggest you move on. And also, it's important that the essence of a cold email is to get a response. And if you don't get a response, then I think you should move on to the next professor. And again, your email ID matters. So you don't want to use a funny email ID which could go into spam. So like it's important you use it's important that you use your first or last name. Like for me, I use my first and last name with my email. So it's pretty clear so that it's not marked as scam. I look forward to hearing about scholarship for masters in early child education, even for second class lower. Okay, no problem. I'm yet to complete my master's program due to COVID restrictions abroad. Can I mention my master's program during my PhD? Yes, you can talk. You can write like you are in the last lap of your program. That's important. In most cases, you get conditional admission, and before the registration, you have to produce your master's certificate. Dr. Walden, and thanks for all you do. Please, do you have any info on veterinary microbiology? Yes, veterinary microbiology. I probably don't have much to say about it today, but again, the question is, do you want a master's or PhD in veterinary microbiology? Like I talked about a Chevening scholarship, I'm sure there are several universities in the UK that actually do something related to veterinary microbiology. And again, I talked about a position recently in Austria at the Veterinary University in Vienna. So if you're interested in food microbiology, or there are probably several um, faculty members that are working on veterinary University of Veterinary Medicine. So let me just post this the University of Veterinary Medicine for okay, in the US, you have talked about in the US. So, okay, this is University of Veterinary Medicine, Vienna. You may want to consider checking out the faculty members in the school. Maybe they're interested in something you are doing. In the US, yeah, there are several universities that are into veterinary medicine. Now, it depends on what you want to do. So, veterinary microbiology, which deals with like animals and stuff like that, microbes. So you may consider searching on Google for that. Like, okay, veterinary microbiology in the US, you will see several suggestions. Then you can reach out to professors in that field and tell them you're interested in their field. Yeah, so as simple as that. I have a BSc in maths with a CGPA of 3.71. What are my chances of graduating fully funded master's program in Canada? Okay, 3.71 is really okay. Yeah, the chances are high as long as you get a supervisor or professor that is interested in your area of research. You can also consider applying for the mass mode scholarship in Europe, as well as the AIMS scholarship for maths in Rwanda. You may also consider applying for the DAD scholarship, as well as the Korean government scholarship, or the Chinese government scholarship. We have ANSO scholarship, which awards over 600 scholarship for masters and PhD in China. So you may want to consider that, like, if you don't get um, professors in Canada because funding is limited, you may also consider applying for other to other countries. So just don't limit yourself to Canada. What can someone with agricultural bachelor apply to, since he or she has a vast area covered? Bachelor or someone with agricultural bachelor. Okay, I'm going to talk about something related to agri soon. Master's or PhD position in agri. So just stay put and I'll talk about that. Christian, seems funding for undergraduate studies limited. Do you know? Yes, funding for undergraduate study is limited, but there are still funding for undergrad. You can consider applying for the Mastercard scholarship. Then the Korean government scholarship opens in September. 5 years of fully funded undergraduate program covers tuition, covers flight, cover monthly stipends about 800 US dollars, and also covers research allowance per semester and settlement allowance. You may consider applying for the master scholarship in Japan. You may also consider writing schools in the US. If you have SAT, you may consider applying. There are partial scholarship for undergrad in Canada as well. It's very expensive, but you may consider applying for that. Then again, in Korea, there are several universities that gives undergraduate scholarship, so you may want to apply for that. Okay, so I'm trying to pay an application fee for the Master Foundation Scholarship at the University of Pretoria, but my dollar card isn't working. What should I do? Wow, I really do not know. Maybe you can talk to your bank to fix that. Sorry, I think I called you short on the University of Veterinary Medicine Vienna. Is there a link? Yes, I can drop the link for you. University of Veterinary Medicine Vienna. Just hold on. I'm just going to drop that in 1 minute. So you can look for faculty members in the university. and write them to ask if they have funded. So that's it. Here you go. Muhammad Shuaib, University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna. Okay, Francis was. I got a response from a professor in the US saying he's interested in working with me, but he has no funding. What do I? What do you advise? Yeah, keep the communication open. Maybe he can have funding soon, but if he doesn't have funding, then you have to move on. Is it advisable to send in an application to grad school without getting a supervisor first? Well, if it's in STEM, it is not advisable. If it is application fee waiver, yep, you may try it. But if you have to pay for application fee, I think it's advisable that you look for a supervisor before you submit the application. In most cases, you jump my message. I'm coming. I'm gonna. I'm sorry, Cindy. I'm sorry. In most cases, you need to get a supervisor before you submit your application. A professor agreed to sponsor my master's in renewable energy, and he said he will get back to me. Should I send him a message to remind him? Yes, we might just send him a follow up. Not really. Don't be desperate. Just send them a message like, "Hi, how are you today? I'm just reminding you on the last message," and also probably when the application opens, and might be of help to, view your proposal or also help you to review your statement of purpose. Can I get a recommendation letter from someone whose lab I did my bachelor thesis, like a private lab owner who works in my school department lab as well? Yes, you can get a recommendation letter from someone whose lab, yeah, like a private lab owner who works in my school department. I didn't really get that. Please, can you reconstruct it? A recommendation letter must be from someone that can attest to your research skills. So if the person can attest to your research expertise, oh yes, you can get a recommendation letter from them. Thank you so much for everyone that is just joining. I'm sorry, we had a technical issue earlier. If you're just joining, thank you so much. This is Scholarship Cafe. Please click on the subscription button and like this video as well as kindly share with your friends that are looking for scholarships and they are looking for answers to questions that have been answered here. So kindly recap on the question be me asked. Okay. If the question be me asked, okay. Bimi asked that I'm yet to complete my master's program due to COVID. Can I mention my master's program during my PhD application? And I said yes. You can mention your master's program on in your personal statement or cover letter. It could be that you want to write that you're in the last lap of your master's program or you are currently a master's student. So I don't know how COVID has affected, but again, if it is that COVID affected that you do not graduate on time, then you need to state it clearly. So you have to emphasize what that's, the impact of COVID because it now depends on where you are having your master's program. I know in if it's in Nigeria that COVID hasn't really affected in the real sense that a lot of people are back in the university. He's a lab technician at my department and my supervisor referred me to carry out my final project at his private lab rather than working at the university lab. I think your project supervisor should write that. Um, a lab technician would probably not carry much weight when it comes to your letter of recommendation. So your supervisor should be able to attest to the fact that you worked in on you have that skill since you also wrote your thesis. Regarding my other questions about recommendation letter, okay, I've answered that. Does someone without any publication stand a chance to securing a fully funded PhD in the US? Yes, you stand a chance. Nothing is impossible, but publication gives you a leverage. Hello, doctor. Most of the responses I get from professors in my field are no funding. For some, I conducted and still no fund. What do you suggest I do? PhD in food science. Think about interdisciplinary. I just talked about food microbiology, right? Not quite long. So it's important to think about, you know, which aspect of food science you really want to work on. Is it like stable food or GMO? Or, think about you might just be looking at the wrong direction. So you may want to consider looking for professors that are working on something novel or something that is current in terms of food science. in terms of food science, we talk about in 2050, if you're not careful, a lot of people will die of hunger. So you have to think about food security. You have to think about, okay, how to make stable foods, how to prevent food spoiling. So you have to think about the interdisciplinary. Does it connect with microbiology? Does it connect with biochemistry? Does it connect with a lot of other things? So you have to think about, the aspect you want to focus on food science, and think about interdisciplinary. Think about a particular group that is working on something that is, much more acceptable and much more current. Is it better to send code email to professors in public university only? Is okay. Send to public and private university doesn't really matter. I think Quadri is referring to submitting an application without getting a supervisor. Because some schools tells you to apply. Oh yes, I like I said, you can submit if you have the money. That's it. But for me, I would get a supervisor before I submit an application. Like you don't want to, I mean, for $85, $75 is a lot of money to afford. I mean, so if you're not having an application fee waiver, please. I mean, it's just optional. You might follow your ad, but for me, I'll rather suggest people to get a go ahead from the supervisor before turning in an application. I have a BS in maths and start with a CGP of 3.3 West. I've been rejected by two schools. What can I do to, because it seems MSC statistics is very competitive. Yes. You said math, so it depends on it. I might not be the best expert to comment on math. I have friends like Adeniji Jimmy, Dr. Adeniji Jimmy, which I've always recommended people that are interested in maths. Recently, they organized a conference about funding opportunities in maths. Like I said, you have Maths Mode Scholarship in Europe. You also have the HAME Scholarship for maths in Rwanda. So you may want to consider applying for the scholarship, or you may not want to consider also applying to China or Korea for scholarship in mathematics. There are several scholarship in maths, so you have to look for the right information at the right place. Yeah, should be that way. So I'm not working at the moment, and I really want to apply for DATA scholarship. Because what should I do? I have 2 years of work experience and internship. Yeah, I think you should go ahead and apply for the DAD scholarship. Look for the requirements, input in your application. And since you have 2 years of work experience, I mean, it's not all DAD scholarship that requires 2 years of work experience. The Apple scholarship, which I'll talk about later, requires you have 2 years of work experience, which you have. So you may want to consider applying for the scholarship. And I was to talk about the various deadlines for the scholarships in my video. How do I ask for a recommendation letter from my former lecturer? Do I need to send them a draft of my CV? I think you need to contact them and tell them you need a recommendation letter. Then update them on what has been happening to you, your recent achievements, your any other. Yeah, you can send them a CV. To send them a draft if they request for that, you may want to consider sending them a draft to the recommendation letter. Like I said, I always recommend that your recommendation letter is as strong as your statement of purpose. Hi, Doc. Are there some master's courses that don't require you to contact supervisor before application? Yes, there might be, but I'll always suggest contact supervisor before you submit the application document. So I'm just going to take a break on answering questions, and I'm going to go to the next scholarship opportunity which you can apply for if you're looking for PhD and postdoc positions and in several, including microbiology as well as other fields. You may consider applying to the university, the Ghent University in Belgium. They have PhD positions in political science. A lot of people say I don't talk about non-STEM. Okay, now this is a PhD position in political science. If you're looking for PhD positions in economics, in information technology, in linguistics, if you're looking for postdoc position in electromechanical system and meta engineering, if you are interested in biotechnology, if you're interested in diagnostic science, someone asked me about molecular biomedical science. This is a PhD position in biomolecular medicine. If you are interested in PhD position in criminology, criminal law, as well as social law, if you're interested in PhD position in marketing, innovation, and organization, plants and crops, material, textiles, and chemical engineering, pharmacology, toxicology, and biochemistry. If you're interested in PhD position in translation, interpretation, communication. If you're interested in PhD position in biology, you may consider applying for this position at the Ghent University in Belgium. There's no application fee. So you are yet to respond to my question, Quadri. Is it okay to apply? Is it okay to apply for my school of choice first, or get a supervisor first? Get a supervisor first. Thank you. Um, okay, so if you're looking for several positions, like in biology, in economics, in political science, in information technology, you may want to consider applying to the Ghent University in Belgium. The application fee is free. Yep. Most of okay. I'm just gonna Dr. Please share the Twitter and do for the expert in maths so that we can follow and reach out. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I have a BS in physiology with a 4.05, but I didn't really have much experience apart from undergrad research. What are my chances? Okay, your undergrad, I usually tell people your undergrad research experience is enough to apply for PhD position. You only need to package it well. You need to use active words. You need to highlight what you did. Okay, maybe you collected water samples from so and so, or you use social media to isolate organism, for example, in microbiology. You just need to put something there. And if you think your research experience is not enough, you can also, apply for an unpaid internship at some institutes in Nigeria. A typical example that I know is the Nigerian Medical Institute of Research in Lagos. So a lot of people would always say they don't have research experience, but you need to, assess what you have thoroughly. Your bachelor thesis alone, you have the materials and method, and you use some tools there. So you can highlight these things. I mean, in using active words, you can highlight them in your academic CV. Yep. Doctor, how do you get to meet a supervisor from the school you want to enroll? You go on Google the school, search on Google for the school. You have faculty listed in a particular section of the website. Then you can click on that. Then it brings the name of supervisors. Look at the research interest, pick their email, send a code email to them. If you need a sample of code email, I have a video on that on my YouTube. I've had several videos on. I also have videos on CV, common mistakes in your CV, as well as how to write an academic CV. So today I'm also going to talk about CV review. So it's very simple. Search on Google, let's say, okay, food science in Canada. You'll have the list of university. Go to the university page. You see the faculty, which are like staff and professors in that field. Then you can click on them, check their email, check their field of interest, make sure they connect with your research. You don't want to send a generic mail to someone that is not in line with you. So go ahead and put it in there and then email them. Thank you. Says ISAM, does the Apple's that scholarship require you to be working first? 2 years of work experience. It doesn't require you to be working currently. So I'm just going to continue. Like I said, a recap of multiple PhD and postdoc positions at Ghent University. If you're interested in biology, if you're interested in PhD position in economics, political science, information science, technology, you can consider applying for this position at the Ghent University in Belgium. Again, I have the links posted here so you can check it out. Um, Okay, so we're done with Belgium. So let's talk about last month. I talked about a DAD, a SPO, fully funded master's or PhD program in Germany with varying deadlines. So if you are considering studying in Germany for free, which also gives you the family allowance, you may apply for the ESPOS. It's a development related postgraduate course, which several countries are eligible, including Nigeria. So if you're Nigeria, if you are from Nigeria, if you are from other continent like Europe, which Albania, or Ukraine, if you are from Algeria, if you are from Egypt, if you are from Libya, if you're from Morocco, if you're from Tunisia, you can apply for this scholarship. And again, if you are from Costa Rica, if you're from Cuba, if you're from Dominica, if you're from Mexico, if you're from Haiti, if you're from Rwanda, if you're from Ghana, my people from Ghana, if you're from Ethiopia, if you're from Mozambique, if you're from Zimbabwe, Uganda, Zambia, you can apply for this scholarship. It's fully funded scholarship, and it comes with a lot of other benefits. So I talked about it last month, and I listed the courses that are available. And why I'm talking about it again this month is for the sake of people that were not part of this um, live stream last month, and maybe you're just new on Scholarship Cafe. So this scholarship requires you to have 2 years of work experience before you apply, and the next intake it's always like they have intake every 2 years, and the next intake is 2022. And if you are looking for a position like, let's say, master's position in developmental economics, in international and development economics, you can consider applying for this program. For instance, you have the HTW Berlin, the master's program in international and development economics. The deadline is the 31st of August. So as we approach August, it's important to keep a diary of scholarship opportunities that are closing. And also, if you are interested in International Graduate School for Developmental Research, University of Bonn. The deadline is also the 31st of August. The duration without a language program is a PhD. It's 42 months. It's fully funded, and also it gives room for you to bring your family. The allowance is it's okay. They have a travel allowance. You also they have the allowance also covers health insurance, accident, or personal liability. Depending on the academic level, you can get an allowance of 861 euro for graduate for masters, and also you get a 1,000 euro for doctoral students. So if you are interested in studying in Germany, you might consider applying for the Expos scholarship. Again, would also paste the link for anyone that I'm here for, so that you can, if you're interested in this scholarship, it's not just about STEM. You have other courses that are not STEM in there, like you have regional urban planning, at urban management at the TU Berlin. The deadline is 31st of August 2021. You may consider applying if you're interested in urban, regional, and urban planning. And if you're also interested in medicine and public health, I think I have to talk about this Expo scholarship till the end of the application period for the Global Health and Urban Health at the University of Freiburg. The deadline is 15th of October 2021. And if you're interested in law and intellectual property and competition law, you have the Munich Intellectual Property Law Center. The deadline is 15th of October 2021. So, and for someone looking for a position in mathematics, PhD program in mathematics in industry and commerce, it's 42 months for the PhD, and the deadline for the application is 15th of January 2022, and the TU Technical University of Kaiserslautern. So you can apply for that. So for the PhD, like I said, you have monthly allowance of 1,200 euro. It also covers your family. Okay, so I'm also going to paste the link for the DAD Expo fully funded scholarship for those that are interested in that. Okay. Can you please share the link for this particular scholarship you're discussing? Yes, I'm going to do it right away. Francis would say, okay. So if you're interested in the DADS pool scholarship, you can click on that link. Please keep your questions coming, and I will answer those questions as they keep coming. The next is if you're interested in fungal research, if you're a mycologist, please if you're interested in PhD in fungal Candida albicans, you can apply for the doctoral program in fungal immunization at Jena in Germany. So it's a fully funded PhD position, and the deadline for this PhD position is the 12th of September 2021. The area of interest is microbiology, mycology, infection biology, immunology. It's a DFG funded scholarship, and it covers for a minimum of from 3 years. You will be working on Candida albicans. You're expected to have a master's degree in life science, biology, biochemistry, or microbiology. You should also have experimental background in microbiology, infectious biology, fluorescence microscopy. So if you're interested in this scholarship, in this doctoral research in fungal biology, you may consider applying to this university in Germany. It's fully funded um, PhD position, and I want to assure you that you will enjoy this position if eventually you get selected. I'm gonna tweet a few questions again. Someone said, Professor, I wasn't even offered an admission. A scholarship would be great. However, all I want is an admission and take it up from there. Okay, I think I have to follow up to your question, Oluwashim. Um, Oluwashim, I really can't follow up with that question. Maybe you can make it detailed so that I understand what you mean. I have interest in sustainable agriculture and food security. I'm a fresh graduate of a great extension week scholarship. Apply for any scholarship out there. Right professors in your field. I'm sure it's about food security. It's about yeah, trying to talk about how to manage food spoilage, how to have crops and plants that are resistant to disease. So I would suggest that you should look for professors out there that are working in your field. You can also consider applying to the UK under the Chevening scholarship for that. Um, the seeking for IELTS is an attachment is called when sending code email, providing any advantage. Yes, it does. So if you have IELTS and also the score, you can attach it with your code email together with your transcript. His name is Dr. Adenijade Jimmy. The Twitter handle is thank you so much. Thank you so much for providing answers. So for West evaluation, can it be used for both the US and Canada application, even though Canada was the selected country? I think there are FAQ on the West website that addresses that, so I'm not in the best position to answer that for Wales. When can we send in our CV for review? Yeah, before the end of the program of this live stream, I'll talk about the CV review. Okay, so I just talked about applying for if you're interested in mycology, you can apply for a position in Germany. Yes, for the postdoctoral community, there is about 40 postdoctoral fellowship position in Portugal or Spain. It's called the La Kaiser Foundation Junior Leader Postdoctoral Fellowship. So if you're in STEM, you can apply for this program. For the shortlisting of this program, your CV carries 50% weight, your motivation and statement of purpose carries 35%, and your letter of recommendation carries 15%. Like I usually tell people, make sure your CV is well written and is detailed. Like you can see for a postdoctoral position, they consider the CV to the 50% weight. So if you're interested in postdoctoral positions in STEM, like someone asked me, I think microplastic or something, you may consider applying for this position. The fellowship amount it's about 305 305 thousand euro, and they break it down like you have the labor cost, a maximum of 59,000 euro to cover the total labor of the university or research center that attract the fellow. Then you also have a gross annual family assistance of 1,200 euro for each of the researcher's child. So they have a child benefit here if you're applying as a postdoctoral research fellow. Then you also have the annual research project of 38,500 euro. Then they have the minimum annual gross to be offered to the fellow by the host institution as 44,300 euro. That's a lot of money. So if you're interested in postdoctoral position, you may want to consider applying for the junior postdoctoral fellowship, which is handled by technology of Portugal. And so the deadline for this junior fellowship position is the 7th of October 2021. So if you are interested in postdoc position, this might just be a perfect one for you to have your to have the European experience and also to take your family along since they also cover family benefit, including child benefit. So I'm also going to paste the link here for those that are interested in the position. Okay, I studied maths and stat and I got rejected twice this year afterwards evaluation. There are a lot of people applying for positions. So you have to be competitive enough. I have a BSc in agriculture. Can I apply for environmental engineering? As long as it's connected, as long as you find a connection, I think there's nothing impossible. So please talk about other means of funding if someone couldn't get a scholarship before the admission comes in. Other means of funding, I don't know. A lot of people talk about loans, but I don't recommend loans for funding. So if you don't get a scholarship, I think the best way is to move on and apply for. There are several scholarships in the world. Like you have the Mastercard scholarship, you have the Chinese government scholarship, you have the Korean government scholarship, you have the DAD scholarship. So there are so many scholarships out there. It depends on where you're looking at. So it all depends on where you are looking at. So I'm gonna move on and I'm gonna talk about I'm still talking about positions in Europe. If you're interested in biotechnology, PhD in electrochemistry and photoelectrocatalysis, you may want to consider the School of Chemistry at the National University of Ireland, Galway. The deadline is the 19th of August 2021. So that's the 11th position I'm talking about from Europe today. So so if you're interested in electrochemistry, if you're interested in biotechnology, fully funded PhD, you may consider applying for that position in Ireland. Again, there are several PhD positions at the University of Trento. So for people looking for PhD positions in agriculture and environmental science, you may consider applying for this position if you're interested in industrial innovation, and also if you're interested in information engineering and computer science, the University of Trento in Italy might be a place to check out. It's fully funded, and the application deadline for those in industrial innovation is the 25th of August. For those in agri, food, and environmental science, it's the 24th of August. For those considering information engineering and computer science is the 31st of August. So if you are interested in this position, I would encourage you to apply. They have an annual gross salary for PhD student at 15,343.28 cent per annum, including social security contribution that needs to be paid by doctoral student. And they can also increase your gross amount to the tune of 16,290. So it's okay to get paid while doing your PhD. So you may consider applying for um, the several PhD positions in agriculture and environmental science, as well as as well as um, in agriculture and food science, as well as industrial innovation and then information engineering and computer science at the University of Trento in Italy. I can't talk about visa application because I'm still talking about a lot of other things. I'll probably talk about that later. So the purpose of this um, live stream today is to address your questions about grad school and application. Visa application, it depends on the country. So I don't want to give a generic statement to talk about applications. So will you host winners of some scholarship on this channel, e.g. like Scholar Private Studies some months ago? Um, well, I haven't thought about that. Maybe I might consider doing that in the future, but I just want to use this platform to talk about scholarships and answer your questions. So, yep, um, Scholar Pivot is doing that already, and it's not good for it to be duplicated. So, if you're looking for videos on how to apply for Chevening, I've talked about um, Korean government scholarship. You can also check on Pivot Scholars Pivot. So I'm just going to move on, and then I've talked about scholarship opportunities in Europe, which you can apply for. Straight away, I'm going to go to North America, and I'm going to start from University of Alberta in Canada. There are several postdocs and academic positions at the University of Alberta. So if you are someone looking for postdoctoral opportunities and you like Canada, you want to move to Canada, You may consider checking out the career website at the University of Alberta. There are postdoctoral research fellow positions in medicine and dentistry. You also have postdoctoral research fellow positions in electrical engineering, electrical and computer engineering. If you're looking for a postdoctoral position in cardiovascular research, immunology, rehabilitation medicine, occupational therapy, also agricultural and life and environmental science, economics analysis of the relationship between infectious disease and environmental and agri. If you're looking for a postdoctoral research position in synthetic and peptide chemistry, you may consider applying to the University of Alberta here in Canada. And there are several opportunities that comes with a postdoctoral research fellow position. So you can please apply to the University of Alberta for this fully funded, postdoctoral research positions, and it's a very nice province. And yeah, as a postdoctoral fellow, there are so many opportunities that comes along with that. So for postdoctoral, for prospective applicants, if you're looking for postdoctoral positions and academic positions, be it faculty, you might check this link at the University of Alberta in Canada. So long though, so I feel you right. You wanted to write how long does it for professor to respond? Can you please reconstruct it? I can't really get that. After several attempts of sending coding me and no positive response, what could be missing out? Could it be the template? It could be the CV. You may want to check your CV. You may want to check the code email format. I've made videos on CV and code email. It's important to read the research interest or publications of the lab you're writing, identify a common gap, and do not focus on just leaving your country. If your aim is to leave your country by force, then you might be missing some lines. So consider reviewing your CV, take a break, look at your CV template, and also check the content of your cold email. I studied human resource management. Can you please recommend institutions to apply in Canada? There are several universities in Canada. I would recommend that you check on Google and write them. Thank you so much. Um, Okay, I've talked about several positions and several postdocs and academic position at the University of Alberta. So if you're considering postdoc in Canada, you may want to check out the University of Alberta career page. And if you're someone looking for PhD and postdoc position in machine learning for medical imaging and bioinformatics, the University of British Columbia is recruiting. So if you're interested in machine learning for medical imaging and bioinformatics, please consider applying for this position at the University of British Columbia. It comes with you'll be working in the field of machine learning and computational biology at the School of Biomedical Engineering and Department of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine at the University of British Columbia um, General Hospital. You would also join an interdisciplinary team working to establish a program on machine learning and application in pathology and genomics. So if you're looking for PhD position in machine learning for medical imaging and bioinformatics, you may want to consider applying to the University of British Columbia here in Vancouver. So that is it for you if you're looking for position in North America, which deals with um, machine learning and medical imaging. So that's in Canada. I've moved to North America. If you're interested in population genetics and evolution, there are graduate students and postdoctoral opportunity at the West Singer Lab at the University of South Carolina. The instruction is to email Carrie your CV, a description of research interest, and go for postdoctoral training. If you're looking for postdoc, and your description of background and experience. The email of Carrie is there, and also you can check the lab. I'm gonna drop the information for the lab and how to apply accordingly. So I'm just gonna drop it like straight away. So if you still have questions, please you can enter your questions and I would answer um while I treat all the so you while I treat all the things on my table here. So if you're interested in population genetics and evolution, you may want to consider applying to the University of South Carolina, the Western Lab. Yeah, the website of the lab is there. The web link of the lab is there, so you may consider applying for that. Then someone asks a question about a Greek. So this is a PhD or master's position with a focus on soil nitrogen at a group of Stuart Grandi at the University of New Hampshire for the January 2022 resumption date. So if you're interested, you should submit a single PDF file, including a cover letter and CV to stuart.grandi at unh.edu. The professor shared the position on Twitter, so I'm going to also paste the Twitter link for the position so that you can engage the professor properly on a Twitter page, or you can send a DM message as regards that. Please, when will China open their border? I think as soon as possible. Yeah, I can authoritatively speak about that, but I think I saw a notice a few days ago that says the border will soon be open for international students, and that is why they encourage a lot of international students to get fully vaccinated now. Hopefully, before the end of the year, the border should be open, but please don't quote me. Yeah, so if you are also a prospective applicant, if you're also a prospective applicant for PhD in area of material and biomaterial science, you may consider applying um, for this opportunity, the spring 2022 opportunity at the Jinji Hu Lab, okay, at N State Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. So they have an opening for PhD student in spring fall 2022 in the area of material and biomedical science. So I'm just going to share the link um, with you so that you can also apply if you are interested in biomedical, if you're interested in biomaterial and mechanism of materials. That's the link. Yes, you can apply for direct PhD without a master's position. I've made several threads on that on Twitter. You can check it out. I have 8 years study gap. Would the long academic gap be an obstacle? How do I handle this in the case of potential supervisor or admission panel asks this question? The question is, what have you been doing for the past 8 years? If it is related to your field, yeah, you can talk about the work experience. But if it is not related to your field, then it might be tricky. Yep. So my undergraduate supervisor recently submitted a DNA sequence from my bachelor to NCBI. Please, I would like to know if I include that in my CV. You don't have to include that. It's not necessary. Network Empire China, but I'll be open after 1 year. Friend was sent an email with this info. Okay, good. I can't authoritatively say anything about the China border, but like I said a few days ago, I saw on a university page where they said it will soon be open. So I'm done with North America. I've talked about and if you're interested in machine learning and for medical imaging and bioinformatics in UBC, I've talked about several positions at Alberta at the University of Alberta. I've also talked about if you're interested in population genetics and evolution. I've talked about agri for people looking for position in agri with a focus on soil nitrogen. So you may consider applying for this position. And if you're interested in mechanism of materials biomaterial. Then, if you're interested in PhD scholarship in criminology, you can apply for this scholarship at the Monash University in Australia. The deadline for the application is Friday, 27th of August. So, if you're interested in PhD scholarship in criminology, a lot of people do write me for PhD position in conflict management, peace and conflict. So, you might need to connect something like this PhD in criminology. Um, you would receive a research living allowance, a current value of 29,500 Australian dollar per annum, 2021 full rate, index plus allowance as per RTP stipend scholarship indicated by the school. So the major project is to identify the temporal and spatial element that influence crime prevention action of private citizens. So if you need a probably a track record in criminology, sociology, or other relevant discipline, human geography or demography or special science. So if you are interested in PhD, in, like if you've had a background in peace and conflict or sociology, you may apply for this PhD scholarship in criminology at the Monash University in Australia. So for those interested in the position, I'm also going to paste the link. The deadline it's Friday 27th of August 2021. So please, if you're interested in this position, you may consider applying. Someone said, "Sir, please take a water break." Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm here for you guys today. Thank you. I should take a water break. Yeah. So if you're interested in PhD in criminology, please consider Monash University in Australia. So says you can look towards the US. Okay, so let's go to Africa. The MasterCard scholarship at the University of Pretoria for January 2022. If you're interested in studying at the University of Pretoria, if you are someone in the field of natural and agricultural science and in the field of economics and management science, in the field of humanities, in terms of political science or international studies, in the field of engineering, you can consider applying for the Mastercard scholarship at the University of Pretoria in South Africa for January 2022 intake. The benefits is full tuition. You have accommodation and meals in the UP residence or UP accredited accommodation. You also have the monthly stipends. You have textbooks and printed materials covered. You have the medical aid for the duration of your study covered. You have your visa fee covered. Then you have the travel cost, including flight to and through your country. Then you have development, research, leadership development opportunities, as well as academic advising and counseling. So, if you're interested, if you are someone in the natural or agricultural science, or you are interested in economics and management science, or you are interested in political science or international students or studies, you can consider applying for this MasterCard scholarship at the University of Pretoria, South Africa. So you for the applicant to study at the University of Pretoria, the application opens on the 1st of March 2021 and closes on the 31st of August 2021. So for the MasterCard scholarship opening, it opens on the 1st of May 2021 and closes on the 31st of October 2021. So you have to apply to the school first, then you consider you for the MasterCard scholarship. So if you're interested in the MasterCard scholarship, which is one of the reputable scholarships in the world, you may consider applying at the University of Pretoria, South Africa, for the January 2022 application period. So, like again, I'm going to paste the link, and then you can follow up with that if you are interested in the fully funded scholarship by Mastercard in South Africa. Yes, Africa K. Yeah, sure. A lot of universities doing well. Thank you so much, my auntie Jokefine. It's so good to have you here. Yes, Africa K. Yeah, Africa. They're doing well. South Africa is one of they have one of the best research techniques and research facilities in Africa. I have a lot of friends in Africa that did their masters. I mean, in South Africa that did their masters, PhD, as well as postdoc in South Africa. Do you advise someone to start applying for scholarship immediately after school or go for 1 year NYC first? I would encourage you to start applying for scholarship from your 300 level. Yeah. So it's optional for you to go for the NYC now, or you can still do your NYC after your master's or PhD. So do not wait. You do not know when the opportunities will come. Good day, sir. For a PhD application, which is necessary for evaluation, MSc transcript, or both masters and BSc. Oh, anyway, I would probably recommend you evaluate your master's transcript for that. But again, it's important to follow the West requirement. Thank you. Um, Based on the email I sent to her, but let's open to reopen. Okay, I think that's for the Chinese border. Hopefully, a lot of scholars that got the Hanson scholarship and the CSA scholarship can also proceed to China, rather than staying online, which is a completely different ball game, especially when it comes to learning. So there's another opportunity for Africans. It's called the World Bank Group African Fellowship Program. So the requirement is that you must be a PhD candidate or a recent graduate within 3 years of PhD completion from sub-Saharan Africa. So if you are interested in research, economic policy, technical assistance, and lending operations that contribute to the World Bank Group of goal of eliminating poverty and increasing shared prosperity, you may consider applying for the World Bank Group Africa Fellowship Program. Importantly, you need to be a PhD candidate or you recently completed your PhD within 3 years from sub-Saharan Africa. And yeah, you will spend 6 months getting hands-on experience at the World Bank Group headquarters in Washington, D.C. or country offices. So if you know someone that is currently a PhD student that is working on something related to research and economic policy, or just that has completed their PhD, you can please send it to them. Thank you so much, Minka K. I hope I pronounced your name very well. Streaming live from Finland. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining today. And please, you can ask your questions and please click the like button and also share this channel with your friends to subscribe so that we can all enjoy this community together. So the deadline for the World Bank African Fellowship Program is the 23rd of August, 2021, and this opportunity is okay for people that are currently a PhD candidate as well as those that have completed their PhD within the last 3 years. Okay, so that's Africa. And next, I'm going to talk about Asia. The first is the KAIST 2022 spring admission in Korea. So, if you're interested in studying in South Korea, you may want to consider applying for the KAIST 2022 spring admission. Um, there are several courses and programs for this in KAIST, and is one of the top universities in the world. So if you're looking for a master's or PhD position in natural science like physics, mathematical science, chemistry, biological science, mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, electrical engineering, the robotics program, School of Computing, Graduate School of Information Security, material science and engineering, business and technology. They also have MBA. So if you're looking for funding opportunity for MBA, you may want to consider applying for the spring 2022 admission at KAIST University in Korea. It's like I said, it's one of the famous university in the world and also in South Korea. So this application opens on the 26th of August to the 23rd of September 2021, and the submission of application materials must be must be done the 30th of September 2021. For the master's program, it's important you find 3 to 5 faculty members from the department you apply to whose research interest aligns with yours, and you have to put the names of those faculty members in your application. And for the PhD program, you need at least one faculty member whom you think can advise you before your application. So this is what I usually tell people. It's important to look for a supervisor before you submit the application um, documents. For the KAIST, they have several scholarships, and one of them is the KAIST International Student Scholarship. The benefit is full tuition fee. You're exempted for 4 semesters for masters, and you are exempted for 8 semesters for PhD. You don't pay tuition, and then you also have a monthly living expenses of 350,000 Korean won, which is about $300 or for masters, and you also have about 350 US dollars per month for the PhD. Your medical insurance is covered, and you also have additional stipends if you are a research assistant. So, like I said, there's no separate application for the scholarship. You apply it the same way you apply for the admission. So, Kai did somewhere to be in Beijing. Beijing is a beautiful city. I had my PhD. I had my master's at Daejeon University in South Korea, and KAIST, which is Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, is one of the famous university in the world. And in terms of ranking, the last world ranking in 2021, the KAIST should be around in the world is about 223 with the position in the world, and the national ranking in Korea is like the fifth university in Korea. So you may want to consider applying for um, you may want to consider applying for the spring admission in KAIST University in 2021 for the Times Higher Education. They occupied the 96th position in the world. So in terms of reputation, last in 2020 they occupied a 61 to 70th position in the world. So if you have the opportunity to be in KAIST, I want to say it's one of the best experience that would probably happen to you. So um, there are fully funded scholarship to study toxicology and environmental biology in Europe and North America. Yes, there are several fully funded scholarships to study toxicology. You need to look for schools that are into your major, write the professors, and you can take it from there. Is getting an international passport important before applying for any program? Yes, I think it is. Yep. I've answered your question, Abubakar Usman, of 8 years study gap. Please, you may want to check it out. Yeah, you may want to check my previous reply. So, lastly, I'm going to talk about the KMU scholarship. You have the Kaohsiung Medical University Scholarship in Taiwan. The deadline is October 15, 2021. The benefit of the scholarship, you have the type A, the type B, and the type C scholarship. The type A scholarship covers 1 year of tuition waived for it's about you get the scholarship of 10,000 stipend per month and the dormitory housing accommodation covered. The type B, you have 1 year tuition waive and dormitory accommodation. The type C, only 1 year waive. So if you're looking for undergraduate scholarship, like people that are asking me for undergraduate scholarship, you may want to consider Taiwan, the Kaohsiung Medical University Scholarship in Taiwan, and the major offered, for instance, undergrad, you have the College of Medicine. So if you're interested in sport medicine and respiratory therapy, and you also have the School of Dental Medicine. If you're also interested in pharmacy, they have the School of Pharmacy. They have the Department of Fragrance and Cosmetic Science. If you're interested in public health at the undergrad level, you might be eligible for this scholarship where either 1 year of tuition waived and also you get 10,000 stipends per month and dormitory and housing and accommodation coverage. Then if you're interested in their PhD or master's program, the School of Pharmacy, the School of Dentistry, the MSc program in tropical medicine, and also public health, which is like public health is one field that it's really competitive. So you may want to consider the school in Taiwan, which offered fully funded scholarship for a period of the 1 year that you get there, or depending on the category of scholarship you get. And also, if you are interested in Masters in Biotechnology, PhD program in Biomedical Engineering, PhD program in Natural Products, PhD program in Applied and Medicinal Chemistry. Someone was asking me about PhD in chemistry. You may want to consider applying to this university in Taiwan. So yes, that is that for scholarship today. And if you are interested in, there's a bonus I put there. Like if you want to learn bioinformatics for free for biologists, there is this site which would begin on the 6th of September. Like it's they call it bioinformatics for biologists, an introduction to Linux, batch scripting, and R. So it is for free, and so I'm gonna paste the link. Like if you are someone that need experience in bioinformatics, it's very important for the field of science. It's you may consider applying for this position, which starts on the 6th of September. It's a duration of 3 weeks. You learn at your pace. It is free, and the weekly study of 5 hours. I'm gonna paste that, and you can register. I need to send you a cold juice for refreshment. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really hot in Vancouver now, and thank you so much for everyone for joining. Are they fully funded scholarship study? Yeah, I've already answered that. Do we also need to send code email for South Korean scholarships? Yes, send that. Send code email for South Korean government scholarship. Why I encourage people to send code emails, like the scholarship is competitive. If eventually you don't get into the scholarship, maybe the professor can offer you funding. So that will serve as a backup um, plan for you. So let's go to the. I'm gonna answer questions. If you have questions, you can answer me. Then, lastly, I'm gonna talk about the CV review. So, sir, which country and fully funded scholarship is available for masters in water management and production in biofuel? I think um, all countries are into renewable energy bio waste. So you may consider looking for professors in that field in Canada, in Europe, or any other country. Just search on Google and see what the options it brings you, and then you can apply straight away. Thank you, Zainab. Great session. Thank you so much. Good to have you here. And someone said, "How about masters in chemistry? Chemistry is one of it's like an heavily funded field, at least in 2021 application period. You may consider applying to the US, look for professors working in the field of chemistry, and write them a cold email. And I'll suggest if master's position is not available, you may even apply for a direct PhD position with your bachelor degree. Yes. So for the CV review, people ask me, is it possible to do project 10,000 CV review? Yeah, it's not easy. I'm pretty sure it's going to be overwhelming, but this is my own way of giving back to mark 1 year anniversary of Scholarship Cafe. So this is a 1 year this is a 1 year long program. So that means the email address will be open for 1 year. Several people write me daily to ask for my CV format, which I have it there at the description section of the free CV and code email format. It's quite funny that a lot of people don't read the description section of the video. So if you're still contemplating of sending me a message to request for my CV format, please go to the video tagged free CV and code email format. At the description section, you can see a Google link that would direct you to uh, a page which has my CV as well as the code email format, and you can edit it to taste. I always encourage people write your own CV, write your own code email. Just use that as a flow. It's not okay to list expertise you do not have. It's gonna hurt you. Like when they ask you, how do you actually do this, and you may just saying, oh, I didn't do it, or someone else did it, or you gave a wrong approach. So yeah, so to qualify for the 10,000 CV review, I'm gonna consider the first 10,000 entries. How do I measure that? I don't know. But anyway, so to qualify, kindly watch my two videos on academic CV. The first one is 8 common mistakes in academic CV. I don't want to see a CV that has number of children or next of kin, or local government of origin, or date of birth, or what again, or religion, or gender. I'm not going to review it. I'm going to trash it. So if you had followed me on Twitter in the last 1 year, I've made several posts on how to write your academic CV. I've made several posts on things to include in your CV. Then I have 3 videos on CV. Please watch those videos. Highlight those points. Don't send your CV today. Don't rush it. calm down, check on those videos, look at the basic things that are required in your academic CV. For undergraduates, for freshly graduated students, I know a lot of people are scared, like, oh, they've seen my CV and how do they get this? How do they get this research experience? But calm down. Indicate what you have. The most important thing in your CV, if you just graduated from the universities, you want to talk about your research experience, you want to talk about your research interest, you want to talk about your honors and awards, you want to talk about your references. I've seen a lot of CV that talks about references available on request. It doesn't hurt you if you list your reference. And in the reference section, you want to indicate the relationship you have with your reference. So please, number one, to qualify for the CV review, kindly watch my two videos on academic CV. Check the description section of the video on free CV and code email template to download my CV, or you can also visit my website, olumiwaigbalajobi.com, to download a PDF copy. And using the template and the guideline in those video, draft your own CV and send it to olumuyiwaigbalajobi at gmail.com. Send it to olumuyiwaigbalajobi at gmail.com. I'm sure a lot of people would send it to my other email. I'm not going to treat it because that shows that they didn't watch this video. So using the template and the guidelines in the video, draft your CV and send it to olumiyiwaigbalajobi at gmail.com. I'm going to paste it in the comment section. And then olumiyiwaigbalajobi at gmail.com with the subject essay project 10,000 CV review. Anyone that wouldn't follow that instruction, I would discard it real time because I'm sure a lot of people are going to send CV, and so I want to be as fast as possible. I want to give you your feedback as early as you can, and so please follow the guidelines. Send your CV to that email, and then I will get back to you. Hopefully, I'll receive a beautifully written CV from you, and we can take it up from there. So it's like I said, the email will especially created. I will be open for another 1 year, receiving CVs, and I'll be providing feedback on those CVs. But again, it will be faster if you help me. Let's help one another so that if you follow the template I have there, if you've watched my CV videos, then it will be faster. Then you can get your response within the shortest possible time. Doc, I have a CV in an Europass form. Yes, if you have a CV in an Europass form, that is for um, Europe, that is for Erasmus. The CV template out there, it is for like a general CV, which you can use for North America, you can use for Europe, you can use for China, you can use for Africa. So that is the essence of the CV review. I am not reviewing on Europa's CV. Europa's CV form is not applicable worldwide. It's only applicable in Europe and for Erasmus because they also require that you put your date of birth in your CV. So if you're coming to submit the CV for me and I have Europa's, I'll not review it. If you have a profile summary, I'll not review it. So hello, doctor. Do you offer one-on-one mentoring? No, I do not offer one-on-one mentoring. I actually need a mentor myself. Thank you. Okay. I love to pursue a PhD in English literature. Thank you for sharing your invaluable information. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. Thank you for all you do. I hope to share my testimony with you soon by God's grace. Amen. Ami David, I wish you all the best. Ami Davis, I haven't contacted my referees, and so I put a request on my CV. Please contact your referees and list them in your CV. Okay. How easy is it to get a postdoc position in plant taxonomy? It is very easy. There are several postdoc positions out of North America. In North America, it might be difficult because, yeah, if you do not have the molecular experience, it might be a bottleneck. But if you have it, there's nothing impossible. Yep. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I've talked about several scholarship in Europe, in Asia, in North America, in Africa today, and I've also, if we send in Word doc or PDF, please send your CV in Word document so that I can provide comments. I can also provide feedbacks. That I won't be able to edit your PDF. If you're writing your professor, if you're sending a code email to a professor, it's okay to send your CV in PDF format. So I'm just going to stay for the next few minutes, like 20 minutes, if you have questions about CV, if you have questions about ISOP, if you have questions about anything, yeah, let me know. Thank you so much for staying in touch. And if you're just joining us at Scholarship Cafe, this video will be available. This live stream will be available at the end of the session, and you can go through it again. And yeah, you can go. Oh yeah, almost 3 hours, right? Yeah, thank you so much. I'll make you proud very soon. Oh God, thank you, Wally. Thank you, Leia. Yeah. I wish you all the best, and I can't wait to share your story as well. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you for being a big fan of Scholarship Cafe, and thank you for what you're doing out there for the community as well. Okay. Yes, age could affect scholarship chance if age is stated. Yes, age could affect scholarship application. For instance, for the Korean Chinese government scholarships, the MEST scholarship, I know the age they have age limitations, and you may want to consider those that do not have age barrier, like the Chevening scholarship, like the Swedish government scholarship, the DAD scholarship. There are other scholarships out there that do not consider age. How do you balance academia and family? Okay. Yeah. How do you balance academia and family? You have to balance the two. Yeah. Family first. I understand. Then, yeah, you need a spouse that understands, that gives you the support system. What are the easiest universities to get a PhD student from Africa? Well, I'm not sure there's any university that is easy to get in. Like you have several applicants to a university. The most important thing is to make your application competitive enough and strong. I'm torn between going for a PhD in microbiology and PhD in medical biotechnology. Please advise. Well, PhD in microbiology and PhD in medical biotechnology, they are kind of related actually, because when you talk about medical biotechnology, um, the use of biotech, I mean, for instance, we also use molecular tools in microbiology. I'm a medical mycologist, and yeah, it all depends on the way you see it. So I think you should think about the connection. What do you really want to do? If you're talking about PhD microbiology, infectious disease, that's also medical microbiology. So now you're talking about medical biotechnology. It's all interwoven. So you just have to consider um, where is what is the missing thing you want to solve? What is the problem statement? Then you can kind of pitch your tent. I mean, towards one, and maybe you're not interested in infectious disease. You're not interested in viruses. You're not interested in bacteria. So it depends on what you really want to do. Medical microbiology is all about infectious disease. Then it also comes down to there's no lab that does everything, that works on viruses, that works on bacteria. You just have to focus on a particular research interest. how do I explain in my scholarship application when my work experience in online? You may have to go for internship. You might have to go for short courses online to fill those gaps. If your work experience doesn't tally, then there's nothing you can do. You have to identify the strong and the weak points. So for the weak points, maybe you don't have research experience, then you may have to volunteer in an institute to get those research skills, and then you can include them in your statement of purpose or scholarship application. You talked. Yeah, the study visa application. I I can't really talk about study visa application because what is applicable to Canada is different from the US, and it's different from Asia, and it's different from Germany. So most of the study visa application requirements are all on their website. So I'll suggest you check those out on the various websites and see what is applicable, what are the documents that are required. For instance, for Canada, you need a study plan that shows that you're going back to your home country. It's not enough to have a fully funded scholarship. You need a proof of fund, and for you to also speed up your application, you might need to write IELTS, which is different from the US, where you don't submit proof of funds for your study visa, or it's also different from Asia, where if you have a fully funded scholarship, you don't submit proof of funds. So it's different from different countries, and I can't be generic on that. So I'll suggest that you contact the the embassy of the country you are interested in before you submit your application document. It's not a must to do English test before getting to university abroad. It's optional. In Canada, that I know, almost all the universities exempt people that have the English language as the mode of instruction before they're exempted from English language requirements. In Asia, I know that they exempt a lot of African countries and other countries as long as your mode of instruction is in English. So in the US, even though the mode of instruction is in English in most countries, they still require that you submit TOEFL. So you have to confirm from the website of the university you intend to apply to. Do you advise to apply for competitive scholarship like Commonwealth? I think you should apply for any scholarship out there. It's the most important thing is to work on your application, have a strong statement of purpose, have a strong letter of recommendation, have a strong personal statement. So I think go ahead, apply for those scholarships, go ahead, contact professors, go ahead, contact schools, put everything together. Hopefully one will work. So don't be scared of any scholarship out there. It might just be the right thing for you to do to apply. Apply first and put in your effort. The best approach is identify a particular problem statement and write your essay materials based on that. Submit a strong SOP, submit a strong letter of recommendation, make your CV well tailored, and volunteer if you want, if you can. It's not about CGPA, it's not about academic CV alone. You also want to focus on leadership skills. Yep. Fatima Ahmed, I have several resources on how to get scholarship in the US on my Twitter page, website, as well as on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much. When writing code email, should we include letters of recommendation? It's not necessary. Thank you. Yeah, you can. My email address is yeah. You can check my website. You can use the contact me section to reach out to me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Looking forward to your testimonies as well. Rooting for you all, and yeah, I wish you a wonderful August ahead. And then yeah, the job will work, the scholarship will come through, that yes, you're expecting for the professor will come through. Thank you for being a part of Scholarship Cafe. Thanks to everyone that joined today. Like I said, the live stream video will be available at the end of the session. And for the CD review, keep it coming. And please hit the like button and subscribe and also share with your friends. I wish you a wonderful August and I wish you God's best. Have a great weekend and bye for now.